Accidents on the track are nothing new for Street Outlaws stars. Between crashes against walls, ignition problems, and overall mechanical failures, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the many accidents which have taken place in front of the show's cameras, some of which have had terrible consequences in the lives of those involved. Though Shannon Poole luckily made it out alive from the accident he suffered in 2020, the horrible images of the crash caught by Street Outlaws cameras still haunt us to this day, also making us wonder what really happened to his car back then. So what's with Shannon's accident, and what has he been doing since then? Stay here to know all about it. Everyone who has been following Street Outlaws knows that getting into all types of accidents isn't rare for the cast, yet the crash suffered by Shannon Poole a couple of years ago was quite an unforgettable sight due to how terrible it was. It took place in February 2020 when Shannon was racing on the Mississippi Gulfport Dragway for that year's Fat Tuesday Mardi Gras blowout. It only took a couple of seconds after leaving the starting mark for Shannon's 1964 Corvette to lift off the ground, crashing down on its nose and ultimately being engulfed in flames, leaving everyone in utter shock. The video of the accident quickly made headlines due to how terrifying it looked, yet Shannon was lucky to get out of it in good health. According to an interview with WLOX.com, the second his Corvette stood up in the air was the longest of his life. Even though he was none the wiser about what was happening to his car, the first smash knocked my breath out. As the car tumbled and rolled, with each roll it hurt, and I felt it equally. He said, though he left the hanging question about what exactly caused the accident unanswered. Fortunately, Shannon was rescued before he could sustain any serious burns, and was ready to go home after only a night at the hospital. Nonetheless, he was lucky that the most serious consequences of his accident was having to fix his smashed and burned Corvette. After his 2020 accident, Shannon Poole appeared several times in Street Outlaws and its spin-off, though not for long. As he announced in June 2023 on his Facebook page, he was left out of the show for unknown reasons, and there aren't any clues about whether he'll be returning. Even regardless of this unfortunate turn of events, Shannon still has lots of exciting things to focus on, such as appearing in All Out Live, a live online show on the race-centered platform PowerTube TV, of which he's been part of for several years now. Shannon is also actively joining races all over his native Mississippi and beyond, a side hobby which perfectly combines with Shannon's 5-to-9 job in the Pascagoula Fire Department, where he's a squad captain with decades of experience. Nevertheless, race driving is not just a pastime for Shannon, whose father was also an accomplished racer, who introduced him to the world when he was just 13 years old. My dad used to race, and he's always been a Corvette guy, so that was an inspiration for me growing up. As Shannon told Trend Performance in 2018, it's unclear what the future has in store for Shannon Poole, but whether or not he'll return to Street Outlaws, it's for sure that he's not leaving race driving anytime soon. Shannon Poole hasn't been the only one with bad luck behind the wheel in the last couple of years. Here are some of the most terrible and shocking accidents involving Street Outlaws stars in the last couple of years. When it comes to Street Outlaws accidents, one would expect that those taking place on the drag strip, but that's not always true. The No Prep King star Robin Roberts learned that the hard way when his car was severely damaged when the trailer it was being transported in was involved in a rollover crash in February 2023. The incident occurred in Wheatbelt, Australia, as the show's staff was on their way to film some episodes in Queensland. It's known that the accident was caused when the truck's driver fell asleep while driving, though luckily no one was terribly hurt in the crash. As seen in pics shared by Australian news portals, Roberts' 1968 Firebird required a lot of fixing, but it wasn't enough for him to abandon the competition, despite the high costs which fixing a $500,000 worth car surely ensued. That being said, this was the second accident suffered by Roberts in less than a year, with the first being when he was knocked unconscious after crashing his Firebird against a wall in North Carolina in October 2022. That time he was worryingly hurt, but fortunately recovered well. Although it's not usual to hear the name Ryan Martin and the word crash in the same breath, such a rare incident took place in Australia in February 2023. This one crash happened in a very different way than Robin Roberts, as this time it was Ryan who lost control of his 1969 Camaro while testing it on a drag strip in Perth. While it's relieving to know that Ryan got out of the crash safely, his biggest worry at hand was to fix his car in the time to join the then upcoming race season in Aussie states. As reported by Dragzine, repairing Ryan's Camaro was undoubtedly complex, especially given that putting together its carbon-made front end was challenging, even when his team was back home. In the end, Ryan's Camaro was taken to Sydney for a record-breaking time fix, though it wasn't fast enough to stop him from missing the first of the 4 racing dates scheduled for that season. That was quite unfortunate for Ryan, but even a No Prep Kings champion has to lose from time to time. Originally from Street Outlaws Memphis, JJ DeBoss's team has been slowly gaining a place in several other shows from the franchise, such as America's List. However, it was in the latter competition in which 2 members of the skillful Memphis-based team had a horrible crash, which resulted in several days in the hospital and a long recovery. The incident took place while filming the show in Texas in January 2022, as JJ and his wife Trisha were competing against each other. Immediately after both drivers left the starting line, Trisha took the lead, but a tube in JJ's car blew up several meters into the race and sent him crashing against Trisha, who shockingly impacted the side wall. The crash not only damaged the cars, but also sent the couple to the hospital with severe injuries to be treated. In JJ's case, he sustained several burns, while Trisha underwent surgery to repair her hip and spine. Fortunately, the couple recovered well, but while JJ DeBoss would return to the dragway in a short time, Trisha needed a considerably longer time to recover. Even though most crashes in Street Outlaws have been recorded in one way or another, no other can be compared to the fatal accident suffered by Ryan Fellows in August 2022. The unfortunate crash took place in Las Vegas, Nevada, while filming episodes of Street Outlaws Fastest in America. According to reports, Ryan's Nissan 240Z and his fellow driver were almost crossing the finish line when he lost control, crashing against a wall with a car then engulfed in flames, sadly ending Ryan's life in the process. That unfortunate chapter of Street Outlaws history didn't end there, though, as in February 2023, Ryan's surviving family sued the show for alleged negligence before and after his accident. According to TMZ, Fellows' family claims that the show's production was aware of the unfitting and dangerous conditions of the dragway on which Ryan had his accident, also affirming that he remained in the burning car for 30 minutes before being extracted by the emergency crew. It's unclear what the latest legal battle would result in, but Ryan's case only proves that there's always danger involved when it comes to drag racing. Hopefully, no one will ever be fatally injured again in Street Outlaws, but it's for sure that many more accidents are likely to occur. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.